Pasuk Chavches. Hashem says to Moshe, he's not going in. I will show you the land, you will see it, but you're not crossing the Yarden to go into the land. V'tzavas Yeshua v'chaskeu v'amtzeu. You should command Yeshua, and you should strengthen him and give him vigor. Ki yavor lefnei om hazer v'yadchel osam es ha'oretz asher tireh. And he will inherit the land to them that you see. So Rashi says over here, v'tzavas Yeshua ala tirchos v'amasos v'amarivos. Forewarn him in advance with the difficulties, the burdens, the quarrels, with Klal Yisrael. V'chaskeh v'amtzeu b'dvorecha. You should give him this confidence and strengthen him with your words. Shelo yirech levavo. That he should not be weak-hearted. Lo makshem shenenesh Rebbe aleim. What would cause him to be weak-hearted? As my Rebbe, as great as Moshe Rabbeinu was, he was punished because of them. As he says, Hashem became angered because of you, against me. Kar sofi le'onesh aleim. Ultimately, I'll be punished as my Rebbe was punished. Mavticho ani kuyavav le'yadchil. He will cross and he will divide the land. He does not worry that he'll be punished because of them. So what was the main concern? That assuming a level of leadership, because you take on that level of responsibility, and if you should fail, this very serious level of culpability and liability. Guarantee him, ensure him that he doesn't have to worry about this. Now, if you remember in last week in Dvorim, Perek Aleph, Posuk Tes, Moshe Rabbeinu says, Lucha levadi, seis eschem. I cannot carry you by myself. So Rashi over there cites the Medrash. Efsher shlo Moshe yochel lodun es Israel. Adam shotzi Mitzrayim v'korah le'mesayam v'horeh l'samon. Moshe Rabbeinu, who did so much, he took him out of Egypt, split the sea, brought the man, hegzaslov lo hayochel ladonam. Elakach omer lehem Hashem elokechem hir be'eschem higdil v'her eschem al dayanchem. He put you above your judges. Nodal tza'onish mikem. He took the punishment off you. V'nosal al dayanim. And Hashem made the judges assume responsibility for your behavior. Chedom Shlomo ki miyuchal lishbot es amcho hakoved ezer. Shlomo Melech, we'll see in a moment. He says, who could judge this difficult people? Efshem mishakozbo b'yechem mikol odom o miyuchal lishbot. He was the wisest man who ever lived. He didn't have the capacity to judge them. So he said again, the judges of Klal Yisrael are not like the judges of nations of the world. Because if in any way, anything, there should be any impropriety in justice, the judge assumes responsibility. And that's Moshe Luchal Levadi Seis Eschem. Yeshua says, my Rebbe, he was punished because of them, which we'll discuss in a moment. Guarantee him, assure him, give him confidence he will not be punished because of them. He will cross, he will divide the land. Evidently, if he needs this level of confidence and guarantee, there's what to worry about, as we said. When you assume a position of leadership carries tremendous responsibility. If you don't lead them properly, or whatever it may be, the consequences could be very severe. But there was what to worry about. Now, we find that Moshe Rabbeinu, before he passed away, he says, he gives Musa the Klal, says, after I pass away, you're going to do avodah zarah, you're going to do idolatry. So Rashi cites Chazal. Klal Yisrael did not do idolatry till after Yeshua passed away, not after Moshe Rabbeinu passed away. So what did Moshe say to Klal Yisrael? After I pass away, you're going to be involved in idolatry. So the Medrash answers, which Rashi cites the Medrash over there, that because Talmido shel odom chavivo k'atzmo. Says a Talmud is beloved to the Rebbe as of himself. So until Yeshua passed away, the Jews did not get involved in idolatry. So as long as Yeshua was alive, Moshe Rabbeinu considered himself as alive, because Chaviva Talmid Shalom Ka'atzmo, his student is beloved as himself. So as long as a student lives, he considers himself alive. So what he meant to say that after my Talmud Yeshua passes away, that's when the Jews are going to do idolatry. Okay, now we find by the Milchemes Midyan, by the war with Midyan, Hashem says that go to war with Midyan, and then you will pass away. So the Midrash tells us, Moshe, that although Moshe knew that his demise, his passing, is dependent on the victory over Midyan, he did not hesitate, he did not delay. He went immediately. So the Midrash uses the term Moshe, to speak the praiseworthiness of Moshe. What's the praiseworthiness of Moshe? What would have been the basis to delay? Because Moshe understood, as great as Yeshua is, or will be, Yeshua is only Pnei Levana. He's only a reflection of the Rebbe. Moshe is Pnei Chama. He's the face of what? He's the equivalent of the sun shining. Yeshua is only a reflection of that. So there's no question Moshe Rabbeinu's leadership is greater. So maybe he would delay. Hashem says, no, go to war, then you'll pass away. He did not delay. Yet it says in the Midrash, Yeshua, when he conquered and divided the land, he delayed. He delayed because he said, when I pass away, when the conquest is finished and I divide the land, I will die. So therefore, as a result of that, he delayed the conquest. So the Midrash says Yeshua was meant to live 120 years, and he only lived 110 years because he delayed. He had 10 years deducted from his life. Now the question is, what did he learn from his Rebbe? His Rebbe was told after the victory he would pass away, he didn't delay. Yet Yeshua, he delayed. Although he knew he would pass away after he finishes dividing the land. What was his rationale? What was his justification? So we explained was that the reason why Moshe attended to it immediately, because he had somebody who was at a level that his leadership would not allow the Jews to sin. But because as he was told that after you die, after your Talmud passed away, the Jews are doing idolatry. So Yeshua understood that as long as he's alive, it's in the best interest of Klal Yisrael. So you can't compare his Rebbe's decision to his decision. His Rebbe, the reason why he went to war immediately, because he had a person who was able to take over, which will keep the Jews instead. However, once he passes away, the Jews are going off the cliff. They can do idolatry. Therefore, that was the basis for Yeshua to justify the delay in the war and in the conquest and dividing of the land. That's how we explained it. But factually, it was a mistake. And he was punished. He had 10 years deducted from his life. So over here, Chaskev Amtzeyu, there is meaning. The reason why he made the mistake wasn't because the Jews angered him. With Moshe, because the Jews misbehaved, therefore he was punished because of them. Or as the Orach Chaim HaKadosh explains, what does it mean, Lamantchem? Because if Moshe would have gone into Eretz Yisrael, he would have built the Beis HaMikdash, the Beis HaMikdash would have never been destroyed, and we would have had to be destroyed. Because it says in Chazal that God's wrath was spilled out on the wood and the stones. But that's only because the Beis HaMikdash could be destroyed. But if Moshe would have built the Beis HaMikdash, the Jews would have been destroyed. So therefore, because of Klal Yisrael, Moshe was not able to go in. Because Klal Yisrael would have been destroyed otherwise. But in terms of Yeshua, he wasn't at that level. So you have nothing to worry about. You will not die because of their misbehavior. Factually, he did die because he miscalculated, and he thought that because the Jews are going to sin after he passes away, therefore that was a justification to delay the conquest, and factually 10 years were deducted from his life because of this mistake.